A good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Erev Shabbos, Parshas Toldos, the Parsha of the birth of the twins, the Parsha of Yaakov and Esav. We just took a huge jump. We've been talking about Avraham Avinu. Now we're talking about the death of Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu it's the day of his burial. Yaakov Avinu is making soup, and make soup's a little weird. Yaakov Avinu was Nishtam Yoshev Olam. He was a learner, not a worker. Right? He wasn't making soup, but he was making soup because it was a Sudas Havrah, because he was making the meal of condolence for his father. And the Esav walks in, and he sees the red soup, the lentil soup cooking, and he says to him, "Haliteni nomi nadoma domazah. Give me the red stuff." He doesn't give me the lentil soup. He doesn't say, "How come you're making soup? What's with you in the soup?" "Oh, Zadie was nifter. Oh, I didn't get the email. I'm sorry, I wasn't at the funeral. I was busy hunting, killing, being my usual lovely self." Really? And that's all Esav could muster on a day like that? On a day when Avraham Avinu, the Tzaddik Hador, died? He comes in, and so inappropriately, he wants the soup that's being made for the Sudas Havrah. Like he doesn't even, you need that. Oh, I understand. When you finish, maybe you can make me another pot? No. Haliteni nomi nadoma domazah. I want that. Adayim. I want that red stuff. You couldn't even call it a name? You couldn't give it a better description? Just the red stuff? How about some of that lovely soup that you've been making? If we traced it through, we'd see that's Esav's life. Esav's life, when we describe Esav as completely made. We say it was called Esav, but he was really, where they spell it as Osui. He was made. He was like a complete person. His outside, it was all complete. Inside, there was nothing going on, but outside, it was all complete. He was hairy. He was maturity to him, a physical maturity to him. Everything for Esav was on the surface, and his life was that way. Everything on his life was on the surface. He didn't want the Bechorah, he didn't want the firstborn ship, because it meant that he had to basically dig inside and find something a little bit deeper in himself, and he just wasn't willing to muster the energy. And he even ended up hating that Bechorah, because the only way to deal with your shortcoming, to realize that you had the potential to be able to do something, and really to take this Bechorah, this firstborn ship, and to make something of it, and you didn't make anything of it. You sold yourself short, and you just gave up. And you gave up an opportunity, you gave up the talents you were given, you just let them go to waste, and you didn't use them for something that was really magnificent. You feel like such a loser. Well, I'm not going to feel like a loser. So therefore I'm going to look at the thing and say, that thing's a loser. The object itself was ridiculous. I hate it. It's disgusting. It's stupid. I don't need it. It's a guy like me that needs the Bechorah, nothing. You have to shoot it down, because if you don't shoot it down, you feel incredibly guilty, and it's just constantly going to be in your face that look what you gave up, look what you didn't do. You didn't rise to the occasion; you fell. Esav wasn't ready to say that about himself, so there was nothing for me to rise for. This is nothing. We do this all the time when we deal with people. We look at a person who reminds us of the fact that we didn't do the right thing. That we didn't rise to the occasion. We didn't find the strength inside of ourselves to do a good thing. And we end up hating that person. And after a while, we have to stop and ask, why do I hate the person? I don't hate the person because the person is really bad. I hate the person because I hate myself. I once knew somebody who was absolutely just not into sports, but so much so not into sports, they actually hated sports. Like it gave them like a reaction. When the kids would say, "Come, let's go play baseball," it was like terrible. The reaction to it was terrible. He would get angry and he would get mad. What was he mad about? He wasn't mad at people. He was mad at himself, because he knew that if he tried a little bit and if he practiced a little bit and if he just got over himself a little bit, he'd be fine. He'd be able to play. He would be fine. He'd be one of the guys. Maybe not the best guy on the team, but he'd be able to do something. At this moment, when he was uncoordinated and he didn't really have a picture of what he was supposed to be doing and how he was supposed to be doing it, so it seemed overwhelming to him. Rather than climbing over that challenge, he just said no. He wasn't willing to climb. And because he wasn't willing to climb, you have to deal with your shortcoming. You have to deal with it somehow. I just let an opportunity go. How do I deal with that? Oh, well, it wasn't an opportunity. It was a stupid thing anyway. A person has a job opportunity. And there are silly reasons why they decide not to take the job opportunity. And then they think to themselves, what am I, fool? I gave up that job opportunity for that? So then you have to spend now weeks and months figuring out how that job opportunity was really bad. And, you'll hear people say things like, I knew that spiritually this is going to be something bad for me. Yes, I have to find something wrong with it because otherwise I'm a fool. Otherwise I'm the guy who's short. I don't want to be short. I'm not short. I'm a great guy. This was Esav. Esav was not willing to dig deep inside of himself. He wasn't willing to see what was inside and to dig deep and to find the amazing part of himself. Any kind of challenge, he just said, no, I don't need that. And I don't need that because that's bad. And then I don't have to feel guilty. I don't have to feel like I have to rise to any kind of occasion. This is one of the lessons that we need to learn. It's amazing that Torah tells us that Avraham Avinu died so you shouldn't see Esav going out to evil ways. But no evil ways are mentioned in this first part of the Pasha. It doesn't say anything about him killing. It doesn't say anything about him stealing other people's wives. It doesn't say anything about that. The only bad thing it says in there is that Esav said, give me some of the red stuff. And Vayivaz Esav es habechora, that he hated the firstbornship. What Torah is telling us is that that's a tragedy. And Avraham Avinu died so you shouldn't have to watch that. Because to see a person live on the surface and not dig deep inside, to see a person waste such incredible potential, that's a tragedy. Avraham Avinu doesn't need to see that. He doesn't need to see his anicle go down that road. He doesn't need to see his anicle just see red stuff. Just see a surface. He doesn't have to see an anicle. Give surface reasons for why he doesn't want to accept the Bechorah. And then when he realizes that he did something foolish, he turns around to it and Vayivaz Esav as a Bechorah. He hates it. So Rabbi said we gotta look at this really seriously. Because I think every single one of us has had some kind of experience like this in our lifetime. Either that we've only seen the surface of something, hadom hazeh, some person, some event, something. We sort of missed the depth and the amazingness of the moment. And then when we realize that, rather than look at ourselves and say, ooh, I think I was being a little obtuse. I think I need to look at this again. We look at him and say, oh, that was stupid. That was terrible. That was ridiculous. Who needs that? Because as long as I can do that, I can save face. It comes to learning. There's so many learning opportunities that a person has in front of them. And so often we say, I don't like the teacher. I do like the teacher, but I don't like the rest of the students. I like the rest of the students, but I don't like Zoom. I don't learn good on Zoom. I learn good on Zoom, but I do it better one-on-one rather than having to learn in a class. Whatever excuse you want, you can find. But in essence, what you're saying is, I'm not willing to push myself. I'm not willing to push myself beyond my comfort zone. And it's just a guarantee. What's going to happen is that you're going to end up hating it. That you're going to turn on it. And we're going to look at it and we're going to say, oh, that kind of learning is ridiculous. That kind of learning is unnecessary. That kind of learning that's not for me. Next time we get angry at something, stop and think for a second. What am I really getting angry at? Am I getting angry at the thing? Or am I getting angry at myself? Esav is a great gift to us. A great gift. Because Esav lets us look at himself and therefore look at ourselves and be able to understand ourselves better so that we can shed those Esav-like qualities that we might have and that we can grow into a Yaakov. We can grow into somebody who's so magnificent and amazing. And with a little bit of push, we can achieve incredible things. Have a wonderful, beautiful, amazing Shabbos.